So I've been watching a lot of First Man recently, and I cannot believe the value that this particular individual actually brings to our kinds of community. This concept of the male advantage is something that really kind of resonates me at this kind of particular point of my life, and I wanted to kind of share my insights on it and why it should be at the front of your thinking almost always if you're a man between the ages of 20 and 30, really. Apologies for the hat. My hair's just kind of looking a little bit shit today, but we represent in the theory anyway. So what is this idea of the masculine, the male advantage, the advantage of being men? Men, we got superpowers, man. I love being a fucking man because we have so much to take advantage of that I don't think a lot of you guys realize, because you guys are down bad. A lot of you are commenting on my videos and sending me messages about your, what would you say, your failures with women, that you can't lock down this particular woman, or you've had a bad breakup, or you're trying to court somebody at university or college, or whatever the case may be is. And my answer is always the fucking same for you guys, is why on earth are you dallying with women at this particular point in your life? Now, like I get the allure, I really do, and I'm empathetic with you. I empathize with you very, very deeply. But you can get so far ahead of every single other man if you just put women to the side for a moment, work on yourself, work on your business, and then you can return to the dating arena when you're top 1% man. Like you can play the easy game, not the hard game. You're trying to play the game now that's not to your advantage. You have to understand men aren't valuable to women in your early 20s, in your teens, even your mid 20s, sometimes even your late 20s. We are most valuable when we are between the ages of, I would say, 33 to kind of 38, maybe even later. Like, that is where you peak. That is where you get the cream of the crop. That is where you are most valuable to the opposite sex. And like I mentioned before, playing the easy game, not the hard game. And there's also something to be said about being free from obligation. So I'm gonna go through a little bit of rhetoric that First Man kind of, I just recently watched a podcast from him and it was absolutely phenomenal. I would highly recommend you go and check out some of First Man's content. Send you all the love here, bro. Even though I'm a smaller channel, but I'm gonna get you. I really am. But some absolutely phenomenal messages there that I really resonate with. So this idea of obligation, being free from obligation. So picture this. Say you're a 30-year-old man. Or even, let's say you're a 25-year-old man, okay? You have just finished university, higher education, whatever the case may be. You've gone into an entry-level job. Maybe you're earning something between, I don't know, 25 and 30K a year, right? And, you know, you're dallying with women. That sounds so fucking old school. You're, I was about to say courting women. You're pursuing women actively on the weekends. You're going out drinking with your buddies. That's cool. And that's the kind of lifestyle you live with. A lot of my friends live this kind of lifestyle. They're around my age, like 26, 27. They live in London. They're kind of living paycheck to paycheck because they've got, again, this kind of entry-level job. But they're going out on the weekend. They're having a good time. They're drinking. They're smoking. They're doing drugs. They're getting with women. They're getting laid. Whatever the case may be. Life's good, cool. What's going to happen when you start to get to 30 is one of those layers going to turn into a relationship, right? You're going to propose to her, you're going to cry, it's going to be fucking adorable, right? And then you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, okay? And then you're going to get mortgage, you're going to get a house, you might have to move out of London because, you know, unless you're really kind of climbing the corporate ladder there. I'm talking about the average man here, by the way. So you're climbing the corporate ladder, maybe you're on, I don't know, 50K a year now, cool. But you've got obligations now. You're paying for a mortgage. You might be in a little bit of debt. You might still have some student loans to pay. You've got to pay for school. Actually, I think school in the UK is free. I should really know that. But anyway, maybe you've got to pay for your children's piano lessons, their clarinet lessons, or their after-school clubs, you know, tennis, football, whatever the case may be. You got to pay, you've got obligations now. You've got to spend time with your wife. You've got to spend time with your family. So a lot of your time is allocated to your family, which I'm not against. I'm not against whatsoever. And if you are a man, if you are the man that I'm describing here, let's say you're 30 and this is your kind of white picket fence lifestyle, I'm going to be transparent with you. I really hope that you are just really present and enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's a beautiful existence to have a family. But in the same way I want you to be transparent with me, there is a small part of that particular individual that is thinking back to when they were 24, 25, 26, where they had no obligations, no mortgage to pay. They didn't have a wife. They didn't have kids. They're not paying for, again, all these facets or add-ons of having a family. And they're thinking, why the fuck didn't I take more risks? Why don't I sack everything off and get a sales job and sell some high ticket shit? Or why don't I start a business? Because you can fail a business. You can, your business could collapse, but you can start another one because again, you don't have obligations. You don't have as much responsibility. So this is what First Man and in a similar kind of way I'm trying to describe to you. If you are a young man, if you are 18 to 30 years old and you are in apathy, you're in lethargy, and you're thinking, goodness gracious me, how do I, life's so terrible. You're thinking about it the complete backwards way. You have everything. You have all the time in the world. Some of you might be living at home with your parents, and that's no spite to you whatsoever. I was living at home with my dad when I was 25. It's hard out there. It's hard to pay rent and also juggle a job and build a business at the same time. I get it, but don't think of that as something that you should be ashamed of. Think about that as something, right? I don't need to pay fucking rent. I can really push the fucking needle here towards where I want to go. If you have aspirations of a 6-figure lifestyle, if you want to be able to pick up and just go to fucking Bali next weekend, that's how you move the needle closer to that particular existence. I really think you've got it all backwards. If you're that kind of individual that I've described and you're thinking, I've got an entry-level job, I'm living at home with my parents, my life sucks, I don't have a girlfriend. Quit fucking whining. Honestly, this is going to be some brutal, hard love for you, but you have everything in your favor. You have so much time. You have so much energy. You just need to quit the shit habits. You need to stop going out drinking with your buddies every fucking Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, being all hungover, and weekends is what makes you successful. I saw that in a tweet once. Weekends can be the difference from a life of obligation or a life of freedom. You just need to put in the work. You just need to stop jerking off the porn. You need to fucking pick up some heavy weights and start lifting them. You need to do away the weed and the other paraphernalia. And you just need to recognize and take advantage of the opportunity you've got in front of you, because you're not going to have it again. Things are going to get worse, not better. That's what you have to understand, is you have a huge window of opportunity where you can literally skyrocket here, or you can it's going to be a slow decline. There are men maybe watching this video out there right now in their late 30s, in their 40s, and they are thinking to themselves, God, I wish I was 25 again, where I could have taken those risks. If I could give you any advice, if you don't know where to look, if you're thinking about, how do I start a business, or how do I do what you're doing, Joseph, or I've got big aspirations, like you say, I'm hungry for it, where do I start? Get a sales job. Get a sales job. That is so important. It's one of the best things that I did, because life is all sales. You are selling something on some level. I'm selling you something on one level. I'm selling you motivation. I'm selling you insight. I'm selling you wisdom that's hopefully going to synthesize into some actions which is going to move the needle to where you want to go. You might be working in healthcare. You're selling health. You're selling well-being. You're selling not being in fucking pain all the time. A lot of my clients are coming to me when I was a physical therapist, talking about how, they've always got back pain, and I'm selling them a solution. I'm selling them health. You might be selling a service. You might be selling a product. So learn how to sell, learn how to persuade people, learn how to sell an outcome, a solution for somebody. And once you do that, you'll be surprised at how, God, you can create so much leverage by just being a salesman. You really can. It's such an essential life skill. And it could be anything. I started off selling I work for British Gas, I think. I can't even remember the company now. But I was selling energy, door to door, knocking on people's fucking doors and saying, you want to sign up for this? This is why you should sign up, this tariff's cheap. Just learn how to sell shit. And then I'm really passionate about this in this particular point of life. And to go into the relationship kind of side of things, is that women, they don't mean to. They mean well, but they are going to be a drain on your resources. they are going to be a kind of obligation. And I don't mean to, I say this with the best will intent. If you're a young man, you're in a relationship, I'm sure you feel very strongly about your woman, but you have to, a relationship's a lot of work. It's not the luxury that it always seems to be on the outside. You know, it's not always having sex every other fucking day. It's, you have to spend time with your woman. You have to talk about your values. You have to talk about where you're going. You have to work in the relationship. There are some things that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to be spontaneous. You're going to have to take her on holidays. You're going to have to do staycations. You're going to have to give up a lot of your time, your energy, and also your monetary assets in order to strengthen the relationship, and also you want the trajectory going in the direction that you want it to go. So it's not all sunshine and roses. There's going to be a strain on your assets. There's going to be a strain on your resources, and all the more reason for me to say play the game to your advantage. And it might seem like a sad existence. It really does. You hear all this stuff like monk mode, not socializing with people, not going on dates, not pursuing women. Cool. That might be a lot. That might be too much for you guys. But you're going to have to trade something if you want that kind of life you want. Like, there's got to be something you have to give up. There's got to be something you've got to sacrifice. Some people can juggle both. Some people, I've seen men whose women bring them up in their pursuit of business and aspirations, that kind of like 6-figure lifestyle. Sure, but they're very, very few. Very, very few guys can do it. So it's better when it's more, the likelihood is you accelerate your process when you're by yourself because you're dialed in, you're locked in. I really, and I'm sure you've heard this shit all before, become a high quality man. We're more valuable when we're older than we're younger. It's been drilled into you so often, so many times, but you need to take this shit seriously. Like, it can be the difference between everything you've ever wanted ever, or a life of mediocrity. I like that guy I described at the start, white picket fence, family, children, 9 to 5, cool. Some people can live like that. But there's a lot of resentment left on the table, and you'd be a fool if you denied it. I'm not going to live a life of resentment. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to see some very fucking interesting stuff happen in the next 1 to 2 years, 3 years. Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. Women are playing to their strengths. Well, perhaps they're not playing to their strengths, but they were playing to their strengths. They locked down a young, ambitious man. Well, not even a young, ambitious man. They locked down a man in their 30s who's doing all the stuff that I'm telling you guys to do. If you're a young, attractive woman, if you're a woman and you're like 22 and you're a 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, all you really need to do is go to the gym, keep yourself nice and fit, healthy. Work on your social skills. You want to be humorous. You think about what kind of stuff that man is going to value. Be intellectually, savvy. Maybe you can hold a conversation. Be interesting. Don't be fucking boring. And then you want to lock down somebody who's in their kind of mid-30s, who's done exactly what I said and is looking to settle down with a good woman. Like, that is the ideal outcome you guys want to be looking for. And that's playing the game on easy mode. My 30s are going to be easy. They're going to be so easy. Are you going to make your 30s easy? No, I'm ranting coming here, but I'm so, like, I really kind of deeped the importance of this just by watching that First Man podcast. I think it was his personal journey, like 10 years of how he got to where he is. Highly recommend watching it. But like I say, gentlemen, take what is valuable from this conversation, from this rant that I've been talking about, discard which is not valuable, and I'll bring you something else very, very soon. Take care.